Welcome back to another episode of Accelerate to Great podcast. As I continue to tell you week after week, episode after episode, I am finding you practitioners, I'm finding you experts, I'm finding the people you want to learn from, the people you want to get insight from, the people you want to grow from. As I stated on the previous episode, the thing about college and the thing about a lot of these institutions, we are being taught from someone who isn't actually doing what they're teaching, right? So case in point, when I was in college, they were teaching me, I was taking business 101, but they had me taking theology. How is taking theology going to actually help me in business, right? I had someone teaching me marketing, but he wasn't in internet marketing. I had someone teaching me business 101, but they did not own a business. So as we continue to build on Accelerate the Great podcast, I continue to find the experts, people who are absolutely incredible at what they do, and today is no other. Today, I wanted to bring on a new construction expert. And the reason why I love Pat and brought him on, because one, he's younger than me, and two, I literally got to watch him build buildings from the ground up from college. So without further ado, I want to bring on a real estate expert, entrepreneur, and a teacher to Accelerate the Great podcast. What's up, Pat? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Nia?
Hey, good, man. Feeling good. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
So,
thanks for having me.
I seen the other day on Instagram that is like a void in like new construction. I see a lot of different people in real estate doing incredible,
Right.
but what I don't see a lot of is people literally building buildings from the ground up.
Right.
And you have done dozens and dozens of buildings from the ground up. And I want you to talk about that. But before we get in that, actually, what made you want to get in real estate? Like, I know you were a broke college student and you started real estate from your dorm room, right?
Right.
And was able to generate millions annually with real estate. Tell me about how you got started. What gave you the inkling of like, man, I want to go all in on this?
Right. You know, like I was saying, just being a broke college kid and just realizing that, you know, living in off-campus housing, you know, paying $2,000 a month, and seeing how my landlord lived or the guy who owned the building lived, and how easy it was for him just to collect rent, you know, every month, was like very inspiring to me. And I was like, yo, this is a serious business. Like, this guy's building wealth, he's making money. Like, I need to get into this, I need to take it serious. So while I was in college, you know, I basically I went all in, you know, I figured it out. I was throwing house parties. I met other, you know, developers, other landlords, started renting out their properties, saving up my money, and basically bought my first property as a junior in college. Wow. And then that basically got the ball rolling for me. So
the idea was like, you saw a landlord getting your money every single month, and you like, man, this can't be that hard. I could do the exact same thing towards other college students.
Right, towards that, I started renting out to my friends.
Right.
I'm in class my senior year.
Right.
I'm in class with my tenant. They like, yo, that's my landlord.
Wow. So you literally was in class with people who you were renting the buildings
right.
to. So that pretty much was like a bug, like getting bit by a bug and just wanted to keep on going.
Yeah, for sure. Once I got bit, it was no turning back.
Right.
You know, once I realized that, you know, I could do this too. Right. Like, I could get into real estate, I could make this money. You know, I could make it happen. It was no turning back. You know, I just wanted to continue to move forward and scale up from there.
Gotcha.
And that's basically where I got into the new construction, because, you know, to me, it was a higher level of real estate. It's a higher level of development, you know? And I knew that I was a creative person, and I could kind of see what areas were calling for, you know, what areas should be developed, you know, and I could, you know, analyze deals and, you know, pull in a higher profit margin, you know, putting up these new constructions. So just like how I jumped into, you know, buying that first property, renting out to college students, I actually did the same thing and just like jumped into new construction, you know, and it's been going well for me ever since.
Yeah. And one of the stories that I love, and I don't even know if you really remember this, but this is like, I don't know how many years, 7, 8 years ago, I knew Pat through someone who used to work with me, and he called me to come look at a job, but I think the job I was looking at might have been for his mentor.
Right.
I think I looked at two, one for your property and one for your mentor, and when I came to meet you, you were interning.
Right.
Talk a little bit about intern, because I think you interned for a year straight, no pay.
Right.
Most people wouldn't have done that.
Right.
Talk a little bit about that and what made you do it, and why do you encourage other people? Because I'll tell a lot of people, I'm like, yo, I watched my friend intern for someone learning new construction. Now he could literally throw up a new construction building effortlessly because he learned the tools and the tricks. But can you touch on, for the young people who are listening, a lot of us look at learning and working for free as I'm being used or some sort of a get over mentality.
Right.
You know, what made you do it? Because I'm sure people was telling you probably at the time, Pat, why are you working for free?
Right.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
I mean, I was just such a strong believer in real estate and a strong believer in myself, and I knew what the future holds and what real estate could possibly do for my life. And basically, the backstory is when I bought that first property, I said I already, reached out to other landlords, other investors, and I started renting out their property. So when I bought the property, I knew that I could rent it.
Yeah.
But the part that I didn't know was how to fix it.
Right.
So I bought a property. I'm like, damn, now I'm stuck. Like, I need to get this thing fixed, right? So then, I started, seeking out guys who were actually developing property, rehabbing property, things like that. And I met a guy down Temple, and he was actually doing new construction. And I started learning from this guy. I was like renting out his apartments or whatever, and he's still doing big things right now down Temple. He's putting up a 20-unit building right now as we speak. Right. And it was just like, I knew the value that I was getting from that experience, from that internship, and it was priceless to the point where, getting paid to learn that information, right. It wasn't no money that he could really pay me for right. what I got in return for the information. You get what I'm saying? Like, I basically learned how to do new construction, and took that process and kind of scaled it down, did rehabs, and then once I got through that, went right back and started doing
What's more valuable, your 4-year degree from Temple or that year of interning?
That year of interning is way more valuable than my degree. I don't even use my degree.
Right. Now let me ask you, do you believe to do new construction, of course having a mentor like you help, but is a college degree necessary for real estate right now?
No, a college degree is not necessary for real estate. So, like, I don't even have a real estate license. Like, I'm not even like a realtor or anything.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So you don't need a degree. Nah, you don't need college.
Is your college degree helping you in doing numbers, or is just simple math? Because a lot of people, we're told college, and I don't think nothing wrong with that. You
right.
finished and have a degree from Temple University.
Right.
But for our young people coming up right now trying to figure it out, do you suggest going all in on something you love and developing a craft, or just go in college, get in debt, right. and come out and still don't know what you want to do? What path? I know it's different for everyone.
I would say, go all in, bet on yourself. If you know what you want to do, if you have a lane that you want to get into. If you don't know exactly what you want to do, I wouldn't say don't go to college, because if you do go to college, you would get exposed to so many different people with so many different ideas, coming from so many different backgrounds, low class, middle class, upper class, people whose parents are entrepreneurs, kids who already have ideas that they want to do, while they're in college. While I was in college, I got exposed to my mentor who taught me construction. You
right.
get what I'm saying? So if
I didn't
if I didn't go to college, like, I would have never got that experience. Gotcha. I probably would have stayed in my local community in West Philadelphia, and who knows where I would have went at that point. Gotcha. You get what I'm saying?
That environment is important.
Yeah, the environment is important.
Gotcha.
But I mean, do I think it should cost that much for the information that they're giving?
Right.
Nah,
right.
I don't think so.
It's general.
Yeah.
It's not like laser focus, right?
Right.
And that's something I'd say. So again, I'm not telling nobody not to go to college. I'm not that guy. I want you to do what's best for you, but I want you to be taught from someone who's doing what you're doing. Like,
right.
It physically don't make sense to me to learn marketing from someone who isn't a marketer, learn about real estate from someone who isn't actively doing real estate.
Right.
So I just think learning is important. So for those who, I know in a few minutes, I want to talk about how someone can learn about new construction and get started with new construction. But for those who just getting started in real estate,
right.
what's the first suggestion you want to get this person?
For someone who just getting started,
or thinking about it, I want to get in the game.
Started, I mean, so for me, I just jumped right in and bought a property, Gotcha. Some people might not be able to do that. So just to kind of take it a step down from that and give them an even easier way to get into real estate, I would definitely suggest wholesaling. And that's basically identifying a property, a motivated seller, a distressed property, putting that property under contract, and then reselling it to another investor. Gotcha. And basically collecting the difference,
Gotcha.
And I think that you could basically build enough capital to go out there and do a real deal. Gotcha. I'm not telling you go out there and do a wholesale and do that full time. That's not what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
But it's definitely a good way to get familiar with the business, learn the language, learn about contracts and things like that. So that way you could go out there and eventually do it on your own.
Right, so what's the next step? Would that be rehab? And if we were to, if you were to share the level of ascension, we going wholesaling, and what we got?
Then we'll do a fix and flip.
Fix and flip.
We'll go out there, we'll find an actual property, and you will most likely want to fix and flip this property and get a higher return versus wholesaling.
Gotcha.
And then with that return, that one property should put you in position to buy two.
Gotcha.
And if you bought that one, you flipped it the right way, you sold it, you should be able to buy two. When you buy that two, you should buy one rental and buy another flip.
Gotcha. And just keep it going.
And just keep it
What's
going
the next level of ascension?
Well, after that, then you want to be at that point where, you're probably flipping two properties at a time. Gotcha. And you're keeping one, where you're running like a 2-1 strategy.
Gotcha. And
if you want, if real estate development, new construction is in your future, then you could definitely get there after running that strategy right there.
Gotcha. Now in terms of new construction, because again, our ultimate goal with the podcast, we want to help people accelerate, get there quicker. Right. What's some things people should look out for, maybe in all facets of real estate? What's some things that you wish you looked out for that might have happened to you that you want to tell a new investor or a new person getting in real estate to try to look out for or to try to avoid? Anything like that?
Yeah, to avoid, definitely seeking mentorship, definitely building a network of investors or other developers, because one of the things that's hard to determine is what it's actually going to cost to do the construction to these properties. What is it going to cost to do a rehab? What is it going to cost to do a new construction? And you don't want to guess. You don't want to make it up. You want to try to get as close as possible and even put a little bit of fluff in there, right? So how do you even do that, right? So the only way to really, get that done is, being friends with investors, being friends with developers, or getting a mentor.
Gotcha.
Learning from somebody who could tell you how to properly put together a budget, so that way when you go do a deal, you're not under budget.
Wow, that's good. That's a hack. So begin to develop networks, get some mentorship, meet other investors and real estate owners, so you can ask, how much did this cost? How much did this cost? How much did this cost?
Right.
And just to expound on it, this is with anything, not just real estate. You said something key. One of the best ways to do it is go all in. Right. A lot of people are like, you can't learn how to swim from YouTube.
Right.
Like you have to get in you physically have to get in the pool to learn how to swim.
Right.
I haven't met anyone who said, hey, I know how to swim, but I learned it from YouTube.
Right.
So I know you on this thing now, just do it. And, I know you were talking about buy a property. At minimum, you should be buying a property per year, did you say?
Right. I said, if you want to get into real estate now, which you just need to start now, this year, go out there and buy a rental property. Like if you have a good enough job, you have a paper trail, you should be able to approach a bank. And the bank will assist you in buying this property, and just go out there and get one rental property, And if you're making $800 a month cash flow from this property, and if you bought one a year for the next 5 years, you should be making at least $4,000 a month.
Wow.
And with $4,000 a month, that should be enough of a foundation to change your life.
Absolutely.
To scale that business up.
Absolutely.
Or even get into anything else that you would want to do.
Because think about, what if you really bought one a year for the next 20 years, and just hypothetically you're 25. By 45, you got maybe 20,000 of positive cash flow coming in a month.
Right.
That's your retirement.
Right. That's your retirement. Yeah.
Wow.
That's better than a 401k.
Way better than a 401k. I see a lot of the people cashing them out now and investing in real estate now.
That's a smart move.
And look, I'm not advising it. Like, talk to your accountant or whoever, but listen to me.
Right.
The name of the game is how to make your money work for you without you working for it.
Exactly.
Like, we've been told our entire life, work a job, work a job, work a job, which is nothing wrong with working a job, because your job is your investor. But the thing that I get confused is work. But when do we come up with an asset or a business or something that works for us when we aren't working?
Right.
Your real estate is working for you right now. Money's being made right now, and you're not physically outside working.
Right.
That money's coming in every single month.
Right.
So this is why, like Pat said, what can you create? Start buying a property a year, and after 5 years you got 5, after 10 years you got 10, and now that's positive cash flow that is coming in, and you weren't physically working for it. Right. And that's my problem with society, is that we've been conditioned the same thing, work. They putting us on a 40-40-40 plan, which is find a good job, work 40 hours a week, work it for 40 years, and then when you get done, they give you your pension, which is 40% of what you were making, and expect you to live off of that. Retirement ain't retirement no more.
Nah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like you gotta make your retirement.
And I think you could definitely achieve that with real estate. I mean, it's set up for you to have financial freedom. You know, it has all the pieces in place for you to be a true investor, a passive investor. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to do flips, you could get a GC. You don't have to be the GC. You know,
tell me what that means when you say that. GC for people who don't know.
Basically, GC is a general contractor.
Gotcha.
Basically, you can run your own projects, or you can hire somebody to run the project for you. You know, and even if you don't want to be that far apart, you could probably even get a property manager. You know, construction manager, who you can work closely with, who can manage the day-to-day stuff. You know, you just basically communicate with that one person versus communicating with all the subs, right? Then they have realtors who will sell the property for you, right? Then if we talk about the rental strategy, they got property management companies who will manage the property and give you what they call mailbox money, right? Where you sitting home, where you on vacation, or you at one of them countries that you like to go to, right? And you just getting that check in the mail, you know? Like real estate definitely has all those aspects that could set up that financial freedom for you.
And just to add, I was in a meeting with my mentor, and he has like a 15-unit apartment building. It's like, I just subbed this out to a management company for 8% a month. Just think about, that's a business. Going to people who own real estate, can I manage it for you? I'm going to do it for this percent. It costs you $0 to do that.
Zero.
And you build a business off of just networking. That's where your networking.
I mean, that's like even early on when I was in college, like I built a business for myself, leasing apartments for other investors, other landlords. You know, I went around as a college student like, yo, I throw parties. I know a bunch of people. If you let me rent your apartment, I guarantee you I could get it done. And through that network that I built from like throwing the parties and things like that, it's like I get an apartment. I was getting them rented in no time. Like as soon as it became available, you know, I'm just promoting it. Like I was promoting.
No license,
no license, no nothing.
And just to add, Pat, I feel like you're doing new construction. Let's say he doesn't have he's a GC, but he's not a realtor and all that. People get so caught up, Pat, with trying to have everything in order. I need to get my real estate license first. I gotta do this for. No, you just gotta start.
That's
like this man's building multi-million-dollar businesses and buildings, all off of just making the decision to start. And would you mind sharing your latest deal with us? I know you're working on a deal currently that you bought a few years back. Identifying an undervalued piece of property, land, and talk a little bit about that. I know a lot of people want to do new construction, and you're the guy to really learn from.
So I think just to go deeper into the story, it's like, you know, back like 2 years ago when I bought this property, I was also buying property that was in a little bit hotter area of this area called Brewery Town.
Gotcha.
You know, where I was selling them for, you know, $425,000, $500,000, right? And you know, Philly's just block by block. So you know, you go down 2 blocks, things might change. And nobody believed that if you went down 2 blocks, these things would change. But I knew if I purchased this 2 blocks away, right, and I sat on it, you know, in a year or two, it'd definitely be worth more or the same amount of value of what the property is selling for today, right? So I just basically went out on a limb, a calculated risk though, because I could see where it was going. I saw how the market was moving, and I bought this property for $40,000. It's a corner property, CMX2. And I'm currently building.
What do that
right
mean
now.
for someone who new to real estate? CMX2.
So the property is on CMX2. So what exactly CMX2 is? It's commercial and 2 residential.
Gotcha.
So by right, I could put a commercial space on the first floor and 2 apartments above. So what I'm actually building is a 4-story building, commercial on the first floor, and 2 bi-level 2-bedroom apartments with a roof deck, which adds a ton of value to this building right here. And right now, once the building is complete, it'll be valued at $1.2 million. And I bought it for $40,000 2 years ago.
Wow. So you saw value. You said, I'm going to buy this and hold. And now it's going to be worth $1.2 million. So how important is sacrifice? I know when you're doing several $1 million worth of deals annually every single year, I'm sure you're sacrificing, like, I don't want to say fun times, but there's a lot of other things you potentially could be doing instead of building wealth down, because a lot of people our age, they're more like party, live it up now, and I'll deal with the consequences later. You're more like build now, develop wealth now, start businesses now, and I'll be good for the rest of my life. So what is the mindset behind that, or the sacrifices you make to do that?
Right. I mean, definitely staying, disciplined.
Gotcha.
At my age, I still got friends from college. I got
Right.
cousins.
Yeah.
I got everybody around me. That still likes to enjoy life, should I say? And I think that I still enjoy life. To
Gotcha.
a certain extent, but
Gotcha.
definitely got to because my goals and dreams, like even my vision board, on my phone,
Right.
is serious, and I believe it that much to the point where I have to be disciplined. Like I gotta buckle down right now in order to, achieve these goals.
Absolutely.
Like everything in worth life having is what is uphill, right?
Right.
So
True,
it's like
true.
I understand that right now, and I'm willing to go through that uphill battle
Gotcha.
to make sure that I get there, and never becoming content, never becoming content with the success I already achieved.
Gotcha.
The amount of deals that I already done, the money that I've already made. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? It's still more, and I still want more. You
Gotcha.
get what I'm saying? So I'm always going to push for more. You get what I'm saying?
And it's funny because you building $1 million deal right now, and we're sitting here talking. You're like, man, I'm working on this next 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like,
Right.
what about the one you got? So it's just always keeping that forward progress. So I know something we've been talking about. We were mentioning how much a void there is with just new construction, and I know I've been like, yo, Pat, how can you kind of help? What you got going on, or how will you be able to help other people who really want to do new construction?
Yeah, so right now I'm putting together a course and also like a hands-on training on how to actually go about building new construction.
Gotcha.
Starting from, teaching people how to get into it from start to finish.
Gotcha.
Identifying the property, identifying the lot, getting the permits, getting the plans done, actually building a team of, subs or contractors that could actually get this off the ground.
Gotcha.
And get it to the point where it's either going to be a flip where we sell it, or keep it in your portfolio. When you build new construction rentals and you put that in your portfolio, I mean, your maintenance cost is significantly is minimum.
Right.
Yeah, it's significantly less than rehabbing something or buying a property that's already a rental, because everything is new.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying? The bones is new. The foundation is new. All the mechanicals is new. The roof is new. It's like you shouldn't have any issues with this property
for years.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Gotcha. So, I want to put a course together that, to add value to people and show them that, they can do this too.
Gotcha. Good, man. I appreciate you doing that, because I think learning from the right people is important. Like I literally, like I tell people, man, I'm like, yo, what's the hack? The hack is learning from someone who did it before. I don't believe in bumping my head purposely when I don't have to. And I literally spent $27,000 last year on my self-education. That was probably one of the best things I ever done, because I'm literally skipping a lot of steps. And now the network I'm building and the relationships I'm building is literally priceless. So first, thanks, shout out to you for doing that. And as we wrap it up, any last piece of advice you want to share with anyone as they just pursue their real estate career? Do they need to be confident? Something else anything else mindset-wise that is necessary for them to get to where they got to go?
I would say definitely just, eliminate all fear. Don't set any limits on yourself. Just get out there and do it. Take the risk, take the jump, but also be calculated in it. Do as much research as you can. Try to find a mentor now if you can, or identify somebody that you feel like you could connect with that's in the business, and try to build from there. Also, outside of that, don't be afraid to read a few books and just mentally prepare you for the jump that you're about to take on, or the business endeavor that you're about to take on. There's plenty of books out there that can help someone mentally prepare.
You got any favorites? Just favorite books in general?
Yeah. I mean, I got some easy ones like, Who Moved My Cheese?
That's
just to
one
stop.
of my favorites, bro.
I feel like
man.
if you could get through that book, if you could appreciate that book, then you could continue to move forward from there. And then you could get into the Rich Dads, Poor Dads, the 4 Agreements, the Think and Grow Rich. And just those 4 books right there, I feel like are game changing for anybody.
Gotcha. That's good. Order them books, people. So we're coming to the close for this episode of Accelerate the Great, guys. But I hope you got a lot of value. I wish I could be sitting here taking notes, but I'm going to be rewatching this episode as well as I know you're probably going to be doing the same with all the gems that was delivered. But again, guys, I want to say thank you so much for joining. Please tell me your website where they can actually review some of your old deals and some of your projects you got going on.
Okay, so everybody, you could go to my website, www.jpholdingsgroup.com. jpholdingsgroup.com. Again, that's www.jpholdingsgroup.com.
And your Instagram?
And my Instagram is my name. It's Patrick Jeune. So that's PATRICK.Jeune, which is spelled JEUNE.
Gotcha. He's special. And whenever, if he ever get done this course program training, I'll plug that in the show notes below as well, just so you're able to skip some steps. But guys, I want to thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Accelerate the Great. All I'm asking you to do right now, rate it, review it, share it. This is the information I want to put out to the world for free. And my ultimate goal is to help people like you accelerate to great and build that 6, 7, 8, and 9-figure business that you desiring to build and gain that financial freedom. So thank you again for tuning in for another episode of Accelerate the Great, and I'll see you on the next episode. See ya.